What's going on, y'all? Your boy Darius here, back in the video, and this time I'm here with my review of the premiere episodes for Agatha All Along. It was Agatha. Oh man, yeah. So Marvel dropped two episodes, right? The first two episodes of the series here tonight. I got the purple mood lighting all ready to go. I'm ready to talk about this show. And first things first, there's gonna be some spoilers in this video, right? If you haven't seen it, right, don't watch the video. Watch the show first, then come back to here, finish watching my review of it. I almost bit my tongue there. It's crazy. I kind of softly bit it. Or if you don't care about spoilers, if you don't care about the show at all, you feel free to watch it. So I guess I should start with like my background on the character of Agatha Harkness and WandaVision, where we left off. It's a little, I want to say it's a little known fact, but I did do a tier ranking a while ago. I don't like WandaVision. Okay, I feel like I'm one of the few people on this earth that hated WandaVision, and it's only after, was it only after episode 4 that I feel like it started going down. It started going down. Like the first 4 episodes I could rock with, but it started going down to that when they did the Ralph Boner thing with Quicksilver, Evan Peters. I still haven't forgiven them for that. I never will until they rectify it somehow, which at this point, I don't think they will, right? I think they just wasted Evan Peters in that role, and it's a freaking crying shame. And yeah, I wasn't a fan of the way it ended. Except for the Ship of Theseus stuff with White Vision and Vision. That stuff was very good. But like it turning into this big witch versus witch CGI fest, I was just like, It's a very hot take. I much prefer Multiverse of Madness. That's a very hot take. But we left off, of course, with Agatha getting stripped of her power by Wanda and trapped into basically her own little hex in Westview. Westview as a town, they're free. But Agatha is stuck as Agnes. The first episode is very interesting because it starts off in the framework of like a show, right? It's her, the character Agnes, as like this cop, which we saw in the trailer, but it's not just like her life in Westview is now that she's a cop. No, she's in a cop TV show basically, because in WandaVision, every episode was a new TV show type era thing, and like for her, I guess it was like, I don't know, true crime or something, or True Detective. That's what it was. And at a certain point, they do an intro where like they're showing like the characters. They're having the intro credits. It's credited not as Catherine Hahn's credited as Agnes, and so on and so forth. I forgot the name they actually gave it. The name they actually gave that show, but it did say it was just like, I think it was like a spin-off of like the Danish series WandaVision, and it was like spelled all weird. It was really interesting the way they did that. But it starts out with Agatha stuck in this cop show, and at a point I'm just thinking, the acting here is like, it's over the top. Like Catherine Hahn's performance as like this police detective who's on the edge. He's been on like behavioral disciplinary probation, or whatever the hell, suspension. Her acting was very over the top, very cheesy. And I was just like, this is a bit much. But then once they hit the intro for the TV show and they revealed, oh yeah, she's in like a show, I'm like, okay. I was able to get more into it, as well as the added element of like the little small things she would notice where she's just like, it's like she was trying to break free, but there was something like stopping her. Like she, at one point, she finds the body of who we understand to be Wanda Maximoff, right? Finds her body. She got crushed at the end of Multiverse of Madness, but we don't see her face. We don't see Liz Olsen's face yet. They paid her for that, but we don't see her face. And like they're going through like the clues, and like apparently like she checked out or stole like some library book. And like the book, I forgot the name of the book, but the first letter of each word spells out Darkhold, and then like as she's trying to spell that out, it doesn't, like something stops her from being able to finish, writing out Darkhold. So Aubrey Plaza shows up. I love Aubrey Plaza. She's great, especially in Legion. That's what we're like. I thought that's where I didn't watch Parks and Rec. I watched Legion. She was great in that. And Aubrey Plaza's character is pretty much like the vehicle of breaking. She's the vehicle to break Agatha out of her little personal hex, which we find out that's what it is. She's stuck in her own little hex, and she gets broken out of that. Uh, and that first episode with the intrigue behind, okay, what's going on here? You know, Agatha, you got to try to remember who you are. That stuff was good. Not as good as the second episode. I think the second episode was stronger, although in some places it was quite weak. I'll get to that in a minute. But overall, Catherine Hahn in this role, once the switch happens from, you know, Agnes to Agatha, once the switch happens and she's Agatha, it just reminds you why, like, she was so good in WandaVision. You know, she was a highlight of that show. She's great here. Picks up same energy, same cadence. She's great. And the show also introduces a character who was kind of like her sidekick, who, you know, us comic heads, I'm not even a comic head, but like people who know the comics, people who know these characters and storylines and such, and have you know, read the trades about certain information. We know who Joe Locke is playing. They credit him as Teen. He tries to tell her his name, but like his mouth gets sewn up. It's like a spell. It reminds me of like it was like Wolf Among Us. There was like a thing where like certain women couldn't talk because of like a spell. It's like a spell over him. Every time he tries to say his name, he can't understand him. I think she later asks him like where's he's from, and he tries to give his backstory, but like the sound goes out, but only for her. She can't hear him. So there's something freaky going on there. Those of us who know who he is, we know who he is. We know what's going on. It's just a matter of, are they gonna finally will they finally pull off some Mephisto shit here? That's the question, because that's potentially looming. But his character, Teen, started off, I was just like, okay, I have a feeling this could be very annoying. Started off not quite as annoying. By the end of the second episode, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of annoyed by you. You're kind of getting on my nerves now. He's a gay character. I know a lot of people are gonna be, you know, just gonna be people on the internet probably already, you know, your critical drinkers and whatnot, making their videos, being like, oh, it's woke. There's a gay character in here. Yeah, that makes it woke. Okay, yeah, sure. But he's just, as a character so far, I'm not feeling him. I know we're gonna have to have him a lot in this show, and I'm just like, we're in for a long one here, aren't we? Second episode though is mostly about Agatha trying to find a coven, trying to assemble a coven so she can walk the witch's road to get her powers back. And I will say that like the first two witches that they encounter and recruit, it's weird. Like the first two witches, right? The recruitment, it's short and sweet, but I feel like there's enough time in there given to recruiting them to where it's like, okay, all right, this works, this flows well. The third one, they just like really speed run through it, and it's just like, really, it's just like that, just that fast. That's what we're doing here. Like the character gets like, she's like working at a hot topic, and she tackles someone to the ground who appeared like he was gonna steal something. I mean, like he went through the sensors. I work in retail, I know. You know, he went through the freaking sensor things. The sensor went off, but the manager comes in, just like, oh, you freaking tackled this kid, you're fired. Just like, and then now all of a sudden, oh, she has no jobs. Now she can join Agatha's coven. It's just like very, very fast paced speed ran that, and I was just, it's the one that really stood out. But once they get into the whole witches road thing, they gotta sing a song, because of course you knew there would be a song, because WandaVision had, you know, Agatha all along, and you can tell the witches road song, they wrote it because they want to win another Emmy. They want to win another Emmy for a song, which I think Agatha all along, it won an Emmy. Was it an Emmy? It wasn't a Grammy, was it? It won some award for a song. They clearly want to repeat that with this Witch's Road. You know, down, down, down the road, down the Witch's Road. It's stuck in my head now. It's stuck in my head, actually. It's actually kind of catchy, though. It's really well done, that song, the vocals and whatnot. But like, I'm gonna be in my sleep, freaking hearing the melody to that song. I tell you what, tell you one thing. Tell you one thing. This is just in general. The witches in this show, the little bit that we got of the witches here, 10 times leagues above the witches in the Acolyte. All right, there was no the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. None of that. No, no, no. When the witches started singing in this show, it's actually good. It's actually good. All right, not it's cringe. And that's the main thing that this. I feel like the first episode was definitely had some cringe going on, but in the context of what that episode was, inside of, it was a TV show. It was, them inside of a show type of thing. I could forgive the cringe. Second episode, not as much cringe. Some cringe with, teenage boy who shall not be named at this moment. That aside, I think as a 2-episode premiere, it ends with them going down the witch's road, and that's it. That's your credits. Tune in next time. I think it's so far not as bad as I was expecting. I was really expecting this to be like not great. The trailers, and again, we still have a whole lot of show left, so the trailers really made me worried that this is not going to be good at all. But first 2 episodes I thought were solid. I'm trying to think of anything else. The music was cool. The acting was cool, especially Catherine Hahn's great acting. The couple different witches they got, they got some personalities. There were some like horror moments later in the second episode with these evil witches coming to get Agatha. So I think, all in all, I'm somewhat intrigued. Not too intrigued, but I'm kind of like, okay, I'll tune in week to week to see what goes on here. This is definitely a show I've seen a lot of people go, it's a show no one asked for. And they're right, but I'm going to give them a chance. I'm going to give them a solid chance to impress me and make me believe by the end that this show was worth it. All right, so I think taking the first 2 episodes is kind of like one, which they probably should have been. You could have done basically just like a 2-hour premiere episode or something, But whatever. All in all, it's like a solid 7.5. For a premiere episode. For the first 2 premiere episodes, 7.5. A little above average. I'm cool. Let's see how the rest of this pans out. I forgot to mention, this is just something that popped in my head. When Agatha finds out, when she remembers who she is, she starts stripping. Like, she starts stripping, and she's going through different characters that she played in WandaVision, the different clothes and styles she wore, until eventually she's like butt-ass naked. And I'm pretty sure that is the first time in the MCU we've seen like bare woman cheeks. It's crazy, dude. It's 2024. It took us this long. It's just, I don't know why. It just stuck out to me. I was just like, this first time Marvel's ever shown some ass cheeks from women. Like we've seen plenty of it from freaking. We see, what was it? Thor's in Thor: Love and Thunder. We saw his cheeks. I ain't need to see that personally. I know some people, some dudes may want to see that, depending on your orientation. I need to see that, but I've always been saying, MCU needs more, equality in that regard. We get these shirtless superhero shots for the males all the time. You gotta just take the shirt off, show how jacked they are. Level out the playing field, even the playing field a little bit, man. You get some half naked or naked men, and you get some naked women in here. I'm just saying. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Agatha all along. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. If this is something if you want me to continue reviewing these episode by episode, week by week, I will do just that. And you can let me know that by commenting. YouTube loves comments. Also hitting that thumbs up button, man. Smashing that thumbs up button. Also hit the notify bell so every time I upload a new video, a new review of this series. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.